I want to tell the story of how John Allegretto came to write The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. And I'm not sure how many videos this will take. I'm just going to tell the story because I wanted to put this up here for some time, and I'll just make cuts where I need to. So if you don't like long ones, run along. This also somewhat pertains to Mr. Nigger's soldiering forward with his word definition change. So hopefully you'll see a link there. John Allegretto was an extremely talented and world-famous philologist. He studied and knew how to decode languages, meanings of words. He was in fact, I think he was the only secular philologist to be invited or asked to decode the Dead Sea Scrolls. There were, I think, 60 people that were assigned different sections, or there was a lot of people assigned different sections. John Allegretto was the only one that completed his section. He wanted to then, of course, publish his findings, and the Catholic Church said, no, you can't do that. In fact, you're so not doing that, you're blackballed, and we will sue you, and you can't disclose any of this information. Like they do. So he went on, was doing his thing, and they discovered right after that, or somewhere in there, the Sumerian culture. They found they're called Sumerian cuneiform tablets, which is what the ancient Sumerians used to write their language on. So they asked John to come out there and do his thing for them and find out what the Sumerian culture and the Sumerian language is all about. I want to back up just a second here. Sorry. And say what the biggest problem with the Bible is. It's not that it's outright wrong, which it is. The biggest problem is the interpretation, the language. And here's why the language is the biggest problem. In English, if you don't know the meaning to a word, if you just come across this brand new word and you didn't have a dictionary, but you knew Latin, since Latin is the mother language to English, you can take the prefix and the suffix in Latin, find out what those two parts mean, put it together, and deduce the general meaning of the word when it was created. The Bible was written in Aramaic, and Hebrew, and another one, I forget what the other one was. But we didn't have a Latin for those languages. We didn't have a mother language that we could go back and derive from. The problem with that is a scenario, if you could imagine going back in time to when they were still plowing with oxen, and you went up to a farmer that was plowing and said, hey man, your ox is really cool. He's going to look at you like you're a nutter. Say, my ox is hot. It's hot and sweaty. There's nothing cool about it. So going back, what was that, 200 years to when they were plowing with oxen? You could see even 200 years difference. The change of meaning in words is completely different. The word means something completely different. You can, of course, go back and find out what the original meaning is, and cool still means cool, but it means both now. But the farmer 200 years ago would have no idea what the hell you were talking about, so you would then have to explain your definition of what it means. A little confusing. So you could imagine a book or some scrolls written 2,000 years ago, if you were to take the modern equivalent of Aramaic and Hebrew and try to use that to interpret words written 2,000 years ago, you could have some discrepancies. So what John Allegretto found out was that Sumerian was the mother language to Aramaic and Hebrew. So as he was decoding it, he was then able to take the language from the Bible, go back to the Sumerian cuneiforms, and take the prefix, suffix, or however the Sumerian works, and put those together and find the original meaning of the word at the time that it was written in the scrolls, or in the Bible. And here's where it also gets a little, I suppose, interesting, weird. I think it's pretty cool.